So good day everyone. I am Roxanne Comendador from BSED F-1A. So today we're gonna talk about logical opposition. So logical opposition exists between two propositions when these propositions have the same subject and predicate terms but differ from each other either in quantity or quality or in both quantity and quality. Let us analyze this argument. So before anything else, let us first know the meaning of proposition and the differences between subject and predicate. When we say opposition, guys, it refers to the relationships existing between two propositions having the same subject and the same predicate. So ang opposition is mo-exist na siya if same ra ang duha ka proposition og subject and predicate terms even though same ra sila og kanang same sila nagapon sila mga differences. And those differences is mo differ kung unsa iyang quality og quantity like ani for example. In the foregoing example, the subject term of the first premise is Filipino, while the subject term of the second premise is Germans. On the other hand, the predicate terms in the first premise is Asians, while the predicate term in the second premise is Romance. Therefore, we can never talk of any position between these propositions since they do not have the same subject and predicate terms. So, like ano yan, for example, so ang argument is that it cannot be called an opposition because the first and second premise og subject and the predicate kay ang subject man sa first premise kay Filipinos while ang iyang second premise is German. So kanang in addition ang ilang predicate is dili kay Asia man og Romania. Sa second example na argument kay katong kuan anang second example ng argument kanang kay matawag na siya og opposition because same na sila duha ka premise og kanang subject and predicate term. So mas kanang this differ iyahang buot ipasabot. So before anything else nakoy nakalimtan og discuss. So there are four types of categorical proposition, namely universal affirmative A, universal negative E, particular affirmative I, and particular negative O. So mao ni siya kana. And now, the relationships between among these four types of categorical proposition is called square of opposition. So there are four types of relations in the square of opposition, which is the contradictionary, contrary, subcontrary, and the sub alternation. So mo ani iyahang graph. So first is contradictory opposition, one which exists between two propositions that differ in both quality or quantity. Two propositions with the same subject and predicates but different in quantities and in quality. So, iyahang rules kay kuan contradictory proposition cannot be true together. And B, contradictory proposition cannot be false together. So, for example, di ba, ang kato iyang graph kay puro mga vowels man to katong a, i, o, o. So, yang a kay all dogs are animals. So, true. Ganiyang o kay some dogs are not animals. So, false. Ganiyang e, no women are married. So, false. Nya iyang I kay some women are married. So, true. So, kuan siya kanang thus, if kanang mura siya kanang singana vice versa. Next is contrary opposition, one which exists between two universal propositions that differ in quality and two propositions with the same subject and predicates but differ qualities and having the same universal quantities. So, yung rules kay contrary proposition cannot be true together and B, contrary propositions can be false together. So, for example, sa iyang A kay all cats are dogs, so false. Then, iyang E, no cats are dogs, so true. Then, another example kay sa iyang A kay all flowers are roses, so false siya. Kay, din yang E kay no flowers are roses, so false. Nya, mura siya singananay kana kanang kanang thus if one is true that is I mean if one is true the other is false, if one is false then the other is doubtful. Next is subcontrary proposition, one which exists between two particular propositions that differ only in quality and two particular propositions with the same subjects and predicates but different qualities. So, yung rules kay subcontrary proposition cannot be false together and subcontrary proposition may be true together. So, for example, kay kuan, some triangles are not square. So true. Inya iyang i kay some triangles are square. So false. Lastly is subaltern opposition, one which exists between two propositions that differ in quality and two propositions with the same subject and predicates, both with the same qualities and different only in qualities. So yung rules is subaltern proposition cannot be false together, and some subaltern proposition can be true together. So for example, yang yang A kay all dogs are animals, so true. Then iyang I kay some dogs are animals, so true gihapon. Kay mabit ang gingon diri na subaltern preposition can be true together and subaltern preposition can be false together. So the iyang I na no cats are dogs, so true gihapon. Nya iyang O kay some cats are not dogs, so true gihapon. And that's all. Thank you.